How then did you like go? Let's go into your journey a little bit as an artist. Like you said, you're a classically trained artist, so you had been doing that before you got into Bitcoin. And when did you have the thought, the epiphany to connect these words? Was it immediate as soon as you saw Bitcoin? You say, "Oh, I can do Bitcoin art," or did it take a while to kind of figure that out?
No, I'm actually very deep into like technical skills. I do my art like very classically, like with my hands, and I draw, I paint, I do screen prints, you know, like all techniques. And at the beginning, I thought this is not something that inspires me to do art. Like this is when I didn't understand Bitcoin, it was like doing art about money. I felt it was like kind of like when the rappers are using the dollar sign chains, you know. I felt that way about it. It was like I can connect with this. But then when I started like getting into it, I was more interested. I actually am not very technological, like I don't understand the code or anything, but I could understand how this could help us. I can understand how this and I love to think about how this can change our society, how this base layer will, if we get this base layer to be good and clean and perfect, we can build on top of it. Now everything is crooked, and you are trying to fix the roof of the house without fixing the floor or the foundations. So it was kind of in that process. And also at that moment, my dad used to, when he was doing this thing like moving his salary around or something like that, he used to write one address in. He only had a notebook where he wrote the address because he triple checked it, because we were living on that money. It was like not something you can play with. And he then when he was going to write another one, he crossed it. And I saw his notebook with like address, and he never reused an address. And I thought that was so beautiful. And at that moment, when I saw this, like this image, I also started understanding this other stuff, like how is this so, like the importance this will have for society. And I started just drawing with the addresses. So in my first drawings, all the drawing was like a bunch of addresses, and I put like more contrast into one letter or one character, and then you could see like an image pop out of this, and started playing with that. It was like very, very like simple, like only what I saw in that moment, and about these tiny things that I was starting to understand, and I think also trying to understand through the art. And now I have moved a bit more far from that kind of things, but these addresses always tend to come back in some of my works, even today.
Well, that's fascinating. And I mean, I love seeing, you know, the couple of Bitcoin only conferences that I've been to. I went to Pacific Bitcoin in Santa Monica, where I live in it. Well, I'm not there right now, but, and then adopting Bitcoin here in El Salvador. And the art, like the clothes and the way like Bitcoiners want to express themselves like artistically and individually, and putting the Bitcoin like sign integrated into anything like that is really, that's a really cool thing. And so how did you then, so you were orange pilled by your father, it took you a little time to like connect your art and Bitcoin, putting those together. And then how did you go from that to getting together to create Love is Bitcoin? And what is the sort of goal of Love is Bitcoin?
So I actually, Love is Bitcoin exists before I started working with them. So this is a business that has like a couple of years, and I have been working with them for like 6 or 7 months. And the goal of this brand is to be a magazine and to do marketing made by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. So what we do is, like, if you have a Bitcoin company, a Bitcoin brand, or your startup or whatever, and you want us to promote you, we only ask you if you are Bitcoin only, and we start from there, and we just adapt to whatever the different companies need, and we show your product, or we try to like let people know. And some people who I have met in real life, they have told me like, I love your account because I save it and I use it as like a magazine you could check when you're thinking, I want to buy a wallet, or I want to buy a shirt, I want to buy something from a Bitcoiner. So you go through the site and you see, or I want to buy a present, whatever, and you go through the site and you see all, and we have like kind of a curated place where you can see many Bitcoiner brands. And yeah, that's basically it. Like the main thing we do is marketing for other companies. We also have like a magazine. We also have many writers who write cool articles and stuff. With some things we write ourselves to share with the community. And the third thing is just to be playful, to be a place that you could, if you're starting here, if you're new here, it's a place that is fun. It's very light. We are very silly. We just play around. We just want to repeat the messages in a fun way. Like, we're always telling people to take their coins out of the exchanges and all of this, because you never know who is new in the space. You never know who. I mean, when you have been here a long time, of course you've heard that like 21 million times already. But if you're new, and you might ask, like, why is that important? And it's about awakening that curiosity. And we also try to make it in a feminine way, to embrace like the community as a whole. We play with everything, but we try to also put this feminine energy that we think it's cool, and it's bringing something to the space, you know.
I think it's awesome. And I was just looking through, I mean, I've been following the Twitter, and so I love that the Twitter is very playful and fun. And I really dig that, because Twitter, you know, can be kind of a negative place sometimes, but Bitcoin Twitter seems to be largely pretty positive, especially now that we're back in the 62. I mean, everyone's really like happy, and the halving is coming, which will be like Bitcoin Mardi Gras. But the thing I've noticed in general is Bitcoiners are largely very positive. I, you know, have been doing a political comedy YouTube show for like 7 years now, and it's pretty dark, man. I mean, like, there's not a lot of positive news coming out of America. You know, it's just like, and I've had to just kind of shift my thinking to like, all right, I'm just going to make fun of this. We're not going to change it, but getting into slowly. It's sort of my journey to becoming more of a Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin maxi now, 100%. But as I was slowly becoming a Bitcoin maxi, is when I actually, part of my attraction to Bitcoin maximalism is just the hyper positivity. I mean, Stacy Herbert, you know, her and Max are super positive. Stacy's very, like, she's hype. She calls it hyper positivity. And I just see the hope and the positivity in the Bitcoin space. There's obviously a lot of hope here in El Salvador because of all the stuff that's happening, and Bukele's done great things, but it's the Bitcoin bubbles all over the world are really impressive. I mean, so before we get to you being in Madeira, and just to clarify, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but one of the goals of Love is Bitcoin and your art in specific is also to sort of to educate, right? Obviously, you're doing marketing for Bitcoin only companies, but you want to, because especially now, I think as we go into this new bull run and with the halving, there's going to be all these new people floating in. And so there's an opportunity, I think, for us as Bitcoin maxis to try to catch these people as quickly as we can so they don't get scooped up and start buying some shit coins, which happened to me and everyone else. You know, how are you guys specifically trying, and how are you as an artist, and how is Love is Bitcoin trying to specifically use this art and marketing to grab the attention of the people that are brand new?
I think where in Love is Bitcoin, what we do is just, we post a lot of memes. We try to, we think that humor and fun and to enjoy life it's important. Like, you cannot be serious all the time. There is a moment for that too. Like, we need you guys that are talking serious stuff, but sometimes the first encounter is not actually the one where, like, you're not like one day walking the street and then you read the Bitcoin standard, like the first encounter might be something much more silly and light. So we try to be that person. We try to point the people to all the resources, and we also try to write about it in a very simple way, and about, well, everything, like how is this a revolution. We try to make it from every point of view, like not to segregate people, but to include people. And we also make some a little bit tiny bullying sometimes, which is, I think, might be needed. So if you're shitcoining around, we are going to tell you to stop. But we try to make fun, like to laugh about it. Some people had told us, like, thank you, like you saved me from the shitcoin. Like I was one step there, and then you were like, I found you. You are doing this, and they said, like, thank you, and now I feel like I'm on the right path. So of course everyone is different, and not everyone is going to maybe embrace it from this perspective or whatever, but we're trying to do it the way we feel is good and better and suits us better. The people who are doing the other way, it's perfect, because we are a lot of humans out there, and everyone's so different. So we have to try to, I don't know, to get to the different people from their own like experiences. Maybe people connect from what they are, from where they're coming from. And yeah, we are taking over this fun kind of aspect. We're actually organizing a halving party in Santorini, and yeah, there are still some tickets available. And many people who have bought the ticket, they told us, this is the first Bitcoin event I can bring my spouse. She's like happy to come with me. And that's the great, like, was a huge compliment for us. We were like, we have to do this. People do want fun. People do want, and it might be even easier to orange pill your significant other in a fun environment. And then later on, of course, get to study, learn the deep stuff, and of course, do it.
Where's Santorini?
Santorini is in Greece.
It's in Greece. Oh man,
Very beautiful. It's an island. It's amazing. It's like a paradise on earth. It's super beautiful. Food is amazing. Like everything is amazing there. So that's why it got chosen. And many of the team, like the Lobby's Bitcoin team, are from Greece. So it made sense for us. Like, we have the perfect place. Let's do it here and stuff.
Ooh, if I wasn't in El Salvador, I think I would go to Greece. There's already all these huge parties that are happening here.